Hello you lovely lot and welcome to my channel. I'm Katie and today we are going to unbox and create with September's UPCRATE. If you're new here and you like this kind of thing, why not hit that subscribe button as well as the like one and show a little love this way. Shameless plug aside though, let's crack on with the goodies, shall we? I noticed it was quite a heavy box when I was opening it, and I also noticed we're on the 25th box. That's quite a nice landmark there, UPCRATE. I think I was also sent some bonus stickers because there'd been a problem with my subscription service, and UPCRATE contacted me to say, look, there's been a whoopsie, we need you to set your account back up, and I think they might have thrown in some additional stickers just for the inconvenience there, but it wasn't really inconvenient. They were really good at helping me sort things out. But I also appreciate the additional stickers. Thank you, UPCRATE. That's very cool of you. Anyway, let's talk about the other goodies in the box, shall we? This month's featured co-captain is Art Fusion, and I love that print. It is so cute, so that will be going on my wall with all the others I've collected over the years, and I love the sticker sheet too. So as I'm opening this, I'm thinking it's tubes of paint, and I was not disappointed. So we have 4 gouache paints by Talons. We have opaque white, light blue cyan, Naples yellow and permanent rose, and I think that's not a bad little set of colours to start you off. Of course, we've also been provided with a paintbrush, and that is by Habico, and it's a brush 123A size 6, and I must tell you it's a very nice brush. We also have a liner pen which is by Centro Pen, and that is in the size 0.1mm. The paper we have is a few sheets of the Canson A5 200 GSM Mixed Media Imagine. Wow, what a mouthful. We've also had a couple of unusual items in there. We have a folia paper glue stick, which I'm gonna guess is like a tacky glue, PVA based glue. And we also have some transfer foil to add some nice sparkly touches, which we'll go into when I do the swatches. And finally, we have the UPCRATE magazine, which I must admit still enjoy sitting down with a cup of tea and having a proper look through. But I have flicked through on here if you want to have a look through that at a slower pace. This month's edition does seem to have quite a bit more in it than usual, and maybe it's because it's a 25-month anniversary one. I'm not sure, but I don't mind. I also think as well it's printed on a different paper, but hey, you know what? All companies are growing and evolving, and this is just another part of their journey. But I do enjoy an UPCRATE magazine though. I think it's nice. And we also have this month's prompt, which is Mysterious Mind. Now it's time to swatch everything out. So the pen pretty much performs like most liner pens. It does what it says on the tin or the barrel. I don't know. Anyway, the gouache though, wow. Now you know me, I've worked with a bit of gouache here and there, and my most used ones are the Himi, followed up by the Nicka poster paints, so it's got to be pretty good for me to enjoy it, and these definitely fit the bill. I can't believe how incredibly pigmented they were. I know gouache is opaque, and I personally don't like to use it watered down. However, this video might change these things because these paints were ridiculously pigmented. I could have been fooled they were a watercolour. Well, for how they moved and travelled over the paper rather than the actual finished results, they are still opaque. As for the foil and glue combination, you put the glue down, you press the foil on, and it leaves the shiny bit behind. I have done this before in the past, a long time ago, so I roughly knew how to do it, although I did it with embossing powder and a heat gun. I was quite surprised by how quickly the glue activated and pulled that shiny part of the paper through, so I was impressed there. Now, as for tackling this month's prompt, well, I mean, I kind of struggled. I've had a bit of a hectic week or two actually since coming back from my little vacation away, so my head's not quite been in the right space for this. But I thought I'd have a go at doing some mysterious looking portrait, and with the colours available, it just seemed an ideal topic. I always think Naples yellow is really good for fair skin tones, and adding that rose colour in there as well just added a nice additional bit of tone and depth for me. As you can see, I took quite a loose approach to this, which again is unheard of for me, especially with gouache. At times though, it did feel like I was painting more with a watercolour than a gouache. However, you also had that delightful opacity which we all like about gouache to bring me back down to earth from thinking it's watercolour. The main reason I don't usually like to water down gouache is it leaves a very streaky finish. Again, the particles of paint are a lot bigger, they're going to sit a lot differently to watercolours. But I also thought, well, I can learn to like it, or I can at least learn how to do it properly so I can have a more informed opinion on using watered down gouache. Although all the layering and the lines were a little out of my comfort zone, I must admit it did add a nice bit of character to it. I was also really impressed by how difficult, is that the right word? Well, the layers underneath didn't reactivate with the layers on top quite so easily, which I do tend to find with gouache, so I was quite impressed there. And yes, they are opaque, but there's just enough for those layers beneath to come through the layers on top, so I found that quite interesting to work with too. For adding stronger features in, well, obviously you use a thicker concentration of the paint, and that worked fine. With the absence of having any black or really deep tones, I thought mixing a purple for like her eyelashes and eyebrows would be ideal. Overall though, I was really impressed with this paint. Like I say, I'm not a Puritan when it comes to my brands of gouache. I have tried a few of them, but not this one, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I also really like the colour choices UPCRATE went with. Again, they're not your true primary colours because obviously a Naples yellow isn't like a lemon yellow or a cad yellow or one of your more pure tones, but still it was a good amount to work with, and I know there's white in there and you're working on white paper and it's not going to massively show up, but I can't tell you how much white gouache I go through when I'm working with gouache. I thought the odd one in this box was the pen though, and it just seemed like a very fine pen for a medium which is used very thickly. No, it's only my opinion, but I found that it didn't really add all that much to it. It was a nice pen, but I think using it alongside the gouache, it was too delicate and dainty for perhaps how I normally use gouache. I thought I would give our subject here purple hair and just having it engulfing her face and theirs to add the mystery, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to paint in the mind. The white was really good as well for adding highlights to her face as well as picking out individual strands of hair. Although at this point this is where I was missing some deeper tones of the paint. A black or maybe a Payne's grey would have been perfect, but I guess that doesn't make you much of a challenge if it's easy though. I did find using the glue on top of the gouache a little bit tricky. It kind of dried too quick to take off as much of the foil as I wanted, but I do actually like the fact that you've got this very matte surface and then these very shiny bits for where the hair strands were. Although it would have been nice to have had a few more sheets just so we could have really got a feel for this medium. We've got quite a lot of glue there, and yeah, a couple more colours would have been nice. But it does really add a bit of movement to a very flat surfaced piece, as you can see. Overall, I'm really happy with this box. I enjoyed playing with the supplies and it was a bit of a challenge. I think we would have benefited from a hot press watercolour paper, a nice thick one, because the mixed media did bend and warp a little at times. But aside from that, I really enjoyed it. There should be some more videos on screen that I think you're going to enjoy, so why not give them a click? As always, thank you for watching, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!